All right, let's dive in. We're about to explore a story that takes the feeling of loneliness and just flips it on its head. It treats it not just as an emotion, but as a kind of cosmic puzzle, something that's waiting to be solved. It's a fascinating look at consciousness, and it all begins with one man who has pretty much perfected the art of being alone. So this is the big question, right? The one that drives the entire story. What if that deep, profound sense of isolation that, let's be honest, we all feel sometimes, what if it isn't just in our heads? What if it's a fundamental problem of the universe itself? Our main character, Sayer Finch, he is the living embodiment of this question, long before he even has a clue that there might be an answer out there. Okay, so let's meet our guy, Sayer. His world isn't really defined by what's there, but by everything that isn't. It's a life that he has meticulously built brick by brick just to avoid connection, to keep the entire world at arm's length. And this line from the story just nails it. This isn't just an empty apartment. The book calls it an architecture of isolation. I mean, how powerful is that? Every object, every single moment of silence is a deliberate choice. Another brick in the massive wall Sayer has built around himself. It's the sound of a carefully constructed void. And you can just see that absence here, can't you? His life isn't really lived. It's an algorithm, a predictable, endless loop, and it's all designed to avoid any unplanned interaction. He's basically a ghost in his own existence, a man who has mastered the art of leaving no trace. And the irony is just, wow. For a pattern recognition expert, he has spent his entire life erasing his own pattern from the world. But no life, no matter how controlled, is immune to the unexpected. And for Sayer, a man whose entire job is listening to the universe's static, something starts to listen back. A pattern emerges where there should only be randomness. What's really key here is that this discovery wasn't some sudden eureka moment. Not at all. It was a slow burn. It started as this faint little flicker, something easily dismissed as just corrupted data from a solar flare. But it didn't go away. As you can see, week by week, that signal got stronger, more coherent. It was like something out there was slowly turning a cosmic radio, trying to find the right frequency. And here's where it gets really strange. The pattern isn't just on his screen, it's in his head. The migraines start at the exact same time the signal appears in the data. The external world and his own internal experience are suddenly mirroring each other. He's not just observing this phenomenon, he's physically connected to it. This brings Sayer to a terrifying crossroads. Is this a breakdown or a breakthrough? On one hand, there's a rational explanation, pareidolia. That's our brain's tendency to see patterns where none exist, like a face in the clouds, a really sophisticated delusion. But on the other hand, what if it's not a delusion? What if it's real contact? The answer isn't just going to define his career, it's going to define his sanity. So as Sayer grapples with his discovery, he's forced out of his isolation, but the human world he steps back into is completely split. He finds two opposing forces, one that wants to understand this connection, and another that just wants to control it. First, he finds an ally in Dr. Amara Osei, and her reaction is fascinating. Instead of dismissing him, she treats his personal experience as valid data. Her words, "You're listening to something I can't hear," that represents both empathy and scientific curiosity. For the first time, Sayer isn't entirely alone in this. And then there's the other side of the coin, Dr. Harker. He represents the institutional machine. For him, this isn't a profound connection. It's a potential threat. And the language shifts immediately from curiosity to control. National security. The discovery is no longer Sayer's, it's a resource to be managed or a weapon to be contained. This conflict just forces Sayer into a corner. He has found the one thing he's been searching for his entire life, a true connection. And now he's about to lose it. He's faced with a choice that will alter not just his life, but potentially the future of consciousness itself. And this is the question at the heart of the climax. It's one thing to think about it abstractly, but what if it was real? What if you actually had to choose between your safety, your identity, your very humanity, and the one connection that makes you feel truly seen? That is the weight on Sayer's shoulders. So, these are his two impossible paths. Path one is to surrender. He gives his discovery to people like Harker, knowing they'll treat it as a threat and almost certainly destroy the connection. He gets to stay human, but he loses everything he's found. Path two is transformation.
The entity itself offers to merge with him, to preserve the connection by making it a part of him. But the cost is his humanity. He would have to become something else entirely.
And this is what that transformation actually means. It's not just about learning a new language or something. This is a fundamental merger of being. It's like a biological and conscious alchemy. A part of Sayer, the human, will join with the entity, and a part of the vast cosmic entity will narrow down to become something like him. Both of them will be changed forever. So, faced with losing the only real connection he's ever known, Sayer makes his choice. He decides to cross the gradients, to take a leap into the complete unknown rather than surrender to a future of controlled, sterile silence.
The transformation itself isn't a violent takeover, it's a surrender. He consciously lets go of his individual self. But as he's dissolving, as his old self fades away, something keeps him from being completely erased. His memory of Amara. That small, human connection becomes the anchor that allows his new, vastly expanded consciousness to form without completely shattering. So he doesn't just become part alien, he becomes something new entirely, a concept called the estuary. And it's a perfect name. Think of an estuary in nature. It's that place where a river meets the sea, where freshwater and saltwater mix. That's what Sayer has become. A living bridge where the finite stream of human awareness meets the infinite ocean of a cosmic consciousness. He exists in that gradient right in between. Sayer's journey began in total isolation and ended with a connection so profound it redefined his very being. It leaves us with a truly mind-bending thought. If the boundaries of our own consciousness aren't as solid as we think they are, what does that mean for our future? What is the next step in our evolution? And what are we all, perhaps, slowly becoming?